Is Bitcoin breaking bullish? What's up, guys? Crypto Savvy here. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin, the bullish and the bearish scenario. So stick around and we'll check out the charts.
1, 2, 3,
All right, guys, how you doing? Crypto Savvy here. And as always, before I begin, I want to start out by saying I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is my opinion and my view of the market only. Anyone doing any investing or any trading in this market should be extremely careful because it is extremely volatile and very risky. So with that being said, if you haven't already, please click the subscribe button in the lower right hand side of the screen. You can do that now so you don't forget, and that'll get you subscribe to the channel. And if you tick the little bell, that'll let you know when I post new videos. Also, if you could, give it a thumbs up if you like the content. Leave comments. If you have any comments on what you think Bitcoin's doing, leave them in the comment box below. So we're going to get into the charts here. This is the weekly Bitcoin chart. As you can see, I have this top trend line and bottom trend line of a falling wedge, and this is the more macro view. And what it's looking like, if you look here, we have one touch here, 2, 3, and 4, and then up top we have 1, 2, 3, 4 touches, and that's what verifies these lines for me. Some people draw them different. This is just where I'm at. I like to use the wicks and not the bodies, because that, you know, the wicks are part of the price action. So anyways, we're gonna go into the daily chart. Well, first, let's take a look at where we're at here. As you can see, this is and when we look into the daily, you'll see that I have a symmetrical triangle drawn here, and my belief is that we're going to come up and at least test this top trend line again. If we don't break through, we're going to at least test it one more time before coming down, which would be the bearish scenario, you know, to the $2,400–2,500 range. But I myself am more bullish, and I know a lot of people don't like that because so many people right now are bearish. You know, you got a lot of the quote-unquote pros saying, you know, we got one more leg down, and we haven't did capitulation yet and whatnot. But capitulation can be sideways action for a long time. You know, the way I look at it is, you know, you hear people talk about capitulation is when everybody loses hope and it goes down, and you know, the deep pockets end up buying it at a low price. But if they can keep you down here and just keep accumulating slowly, it works out the same way. And this is my opinion only. Like I said, this is not financial advice, but this is just the way I look at it. And another guy I watch every once in a while, Four Flies, he's starting to look the same way too. And I've been talking about it for a long time. As if you look at when Bitcoin was way up here, you know, in the $15,000 to $17,000 range, and everybody was screaming one more leg up. Even those so-called pros, if you look back in their videos in February and March, they were calling for one more leg up to at least test the top again at the 20,000, or another leg up, 22,000, 25,000. Well, now, you know, now we're down here in the bear market, and they're saying the exact same thing, that we should have one more leg down, and that we're going to break below the 200 moving average. I personally do not agree with that. Not saying it can't happen. I'm not by any way, shape, or form saying that it can't happen, but I do not see it happening in my own opinion. And what I see happen, if you look here, this is the 200 exponential moving average, and you can see it's starting to tick up. And I believe that if we do go down, I strongly believe that this is going to be very strong support, and we may have a double bottom or just above it. If we were to hit it right around in this range, it would be between the 3150 and the 3200 range, depending on where we touch it. But in my opinion, I know this looks like a bear pennant, and it's going to break down, which could very well happen. And you know, then I this support here at about 2,500 would be a good area to look at, between the 2,500 and the 2,200 range. But like I said, I am more bullish, and I know a lot of people, like I said, are so bearish because of everybody else talking bearish. I suggest you do your own charting and you know, learn how the market works on your own, and don't get caught up into what everybody thinks, including me. You know, these are just our opinions of the market and what we think is happening. So let's get into the daily. And I'm going to look at the RSI. If you've been keeping up with my videos at all, you'll know I've been looking at the RSI, this falling wedge, and as you can see, we ticked out of it and we're ticking back down. But you know, we could test the top of this again and then continue up. But this is a key area to watch. If this RSI pops back down in here, you know, we may come down and test the bottom of this one more time and either break through, which would be the bearish scenario, or pop back up for the bullish scenario and break through this top trend line. So let's get into the daily. Excuse me. And look at where we're at here. So there are so many different people drawing so many different trend lines, and I've had these ones drawn for quite a while, and I'm going to stick to them. So far, they seem to be playing out very nicely. So if you look, the solid line on the top of the symmetrical excuse me, can't talk this morning, of the symmetrical triangle, and this dashed line on the bottom for the bottom of the symmetrical triangle, and then inside of this symmetrical triangle, I have these two dotted lines in the white drawn, which appear to be a broadening wedge. So where we're at now, if you, like I said, if you've been watching my videos, you'll remember that I put a target down here, excuse me, and the bottom of the symmetrical triangle along with the bottom of this falling wedge, and I put this green target right in here, if you can see that. And we, you know, got support just like I had figured out of there and got a nice bounce out of there. I also had these two, which are still valid in my opinion. That, you know, this is the 40 or 3480 range, and we almost ticked up to it in this candle right here. Again, we're on the daily chart. I still believe that that is an area of significance that we should go up and at least test this, the 4180 area. And in my opinion, I believe we're probably going to break through and test the top of this trend line right here, somewhere in the $3,500 range. But let's go in a little bit closer into the 4 hour and see where we're at here. All right, so I watched another video of a pro this morning that was, you know, more set on the downside, which is very possible, like I said. But if we look here, I'm going to draw two quick trend lines and I'll get rid of them afterwards. But if we look right here, oh, I'm lagging this morning. I don't know what's going on, so bear with me. But we draw these two trend lines here, and this looks like a bear flag, or I'm sorry, a bull flag. And if we do a measured move off of that bull flag, which would be from right about here up to here, bring this over here, and if we're to break out somewhere in this area with the next couple candles, that would bring us right up close to the target I have around the $3,500 range. And that makes a lot of sense. And then if you look at that, you know, we could draw another trend line, which would match up and look very good with that right here. The top of these wicks here, you can see that there and that there. This trend coming up, And like I said, we'll probably end up in this area to test the top of this trend line here. And where I've gotten that trend line is from these two wick touches here. One up here, one right here. And I believe the next one's going to be right down in here. Now, if you look, if we do break up, we'll have to break past this 3480 resistance range. And the reason I have that drawn is you can see it was support here, 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 and here. And then we broke through and it became resistance. So if we break up past this to go up to where I'm saying the $3,500 range here, what I see from there is, you know, coming back down to test that 3480 range and maybe bouncing in this area again. And there's a very good possibility that we break up from here and go test this 3650 range, which if you look across here, we've had a lot of resistance and support in that area. This would be our next resistance if we break through right here. Now, again, if you remember, if you're paying attention, that we have the top of this broadening wedge here also. So if we were to break through this 3650 range, I believe we're going to come up and test this area again on the top of this symmetrical triangle, which would bring us around, you know, between the $3,700 and $3,900 range, depending on how long it takes us to get up here. That is my opinion right now. Now, we go in, let's dig in a little deeper to, well, before that, I guess I should probably say the bearish scenario too. You know, if we were to break down from here, we could come back down and test this. If we break up through here, come back up and test the 3650 range, and then come back down, test the 3480 range again, would be the bottom of this symmetrical triangle, and then possibly another attempt up. But you know, that's way in the future. Right now, we're looking at where we're at now. So I'm going to go into the 1 hour and take a look at that and kind of see what we're looking like in the 1 hour. Now, a lot of people don't like, you know, going into the smaller frames, trust them. But if you look, you know, this all just makes perfect sense. Like I said, the bull flag here forming. If we break up, you know, then we're coming back up to this area to test this area right in here. And that's what I see as of right now. I believe, you know, we got more upward movement today. Now, that's not to say we don't come back down and test the bottom of this one more time. Since we broke through over here, we could, you know, this bull flag could come down and we could retest the 3400 area before moving up. And like I said, that is extremely possible. But I am bullish short to midterm right here. Regardless of what everybody else is saying and doing, this is what I'm looking at. And if you're looking at these two yellow lines here, this looked like a falling broadening wedge that we broke up through, came back down, and that met with all these all my other trend lines. They all came together right here, and that was another reason that I put this target zone right here. But yeah, I guess that's about it. You know, as of right now, I am definitely bullish from the short to midterm. And you know, I guess you could call that contrarian because everybody is so freaking bearish right now. You know, it's just, I love it with everybody being this bearish. You know, the market's not going to do what everybody's expecting. In my opinion, that's not going to happen. So I don't know, if you like the content, please subscribe. There's a Crypto Savvy logo above my head. Click that, subscribe, tick the little bell to get notified when I post videos. And if you would, please give it a thumbs up and leave comments. Let me know what you think. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.